Okay, so in this video, we are going to explore the new Zephyr-7B-alpha model, which was created by the Hugging Face H4, and it is a fine-tuned version of the Mistral 7B. So it was trained on a mixture of the publicly data set using a method they call it the direct preference optimization. So that eliminates the usage of the reinforcement learning with the human feedback. Okay, so this link has details explanation on the direct preference optimization that you can also go through that. But one key thing here is that the direct preference optimization is more stable and performant and also has a lightweight, which eliminates the need for fitting a model, a reward model. Therefore, it's sampling from the LM during fine tuning and also hyper parameter tuning. Okay, so it's saying that fine tuning with the DPO it exceeds the reinforcement learning human feedback's ability to control the sentiment of generations and improve response quality in summarization and also singleton dialogue, while being substantially simpler to implement and train. Okay, so we are going to explore the usage of the Zephyr 7B alpha uh, as well as build an application using the Langchain and also Streamlit. Okay, so we are going to build a question and answer generation pair that you can use for several use cases. Okay, for today's video, we are going to implement. Okay, so one key thing is it is also licensed under the MIT, which means that it can be used for commercial purposes. All right, and also you can also implement the pipeline function to also do some create some LLMs and ask questions, generate text. All right, so we are going to implement the Zephyr-7B alpha GGUF for this demonstration. Okay, I'm going to show you how you can pull that, and we have the other libraries that are known to support the GGUF. Okay, so we are going to be using the llamas.cpp. Okay, all right, so if you want to grab the code, you go here, you go to files, and you go to your version. So depending on your memory size, I'm going to be doing the medium, the Q4KM GGUF. So you go here and you download the model. All right, so we are going to implement this PDF that is just 2 pages, and we are going to build question and answer generation pair that you can use in several ways, like create a question and answer for school, for even for law documents, for constitutional documents, for several use cases. You can even create that for fine tuning your model. If you need data to train, you can also generate data to train a model. Right, it's exciting. I've already done that before in one of my videos where I use that to build a smart exam prep. So it is able to generate a question and answer from your PDF. All right, so in this one, it's just the same thing, but this time we are going to explore that with the Zephyr 7B alpha, and we are going to split the output to be a CSV rather than a text format. Okay, and here's a sample of the format that came out. All right, so it's just saying question and answer. So what lesson did Dr. Macmillan learn while being the Walmart CEO 5 years. I and it's giving us some good and accurate answers. So Dutch Macmillan learned that companies need to focus on long-term success and make strategic decisions with a so okay, make strategic decision with a view towards the future generation of their company. All right, yeah. So it was able to generate 9 questions from the question and answers from this PDF document that I have here. All right, pretty awesome. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how this is done step by step for you to build that on your own. Okay, all right, so let's go into that. And I'm going to, okay, let me close this. Okay, thanks. I'm just start a new terminal and let me close this one. All right, so before you start, you can, if you want to create an environment like this, you can just go to your terminal and you say, and hit pip install as our requirement. Okay, let me Python env. So when you hit enter, it's going to create an environment just like this one. All right, and we are going to install these requirements: Langchain, Streamlit, the Hugging Face Hub, the Chroma DB. That's going to be the vector store. So you get other options like the face, the PyCon. So you can just so we're going to be doing the PyPDF to grab our PDF document sentence transformers. So and also we are going to be needing the touch, accelerate, the llama CPP. Okay. All right. So and if you want to install the requirement, you say pip install as our requirement. I'm going to say txt. So when you hit enter, it's going to install all these packages. I have that installed already. Just give it some time, few seconds to install. Okay, so now we are going to import some. Right, so this is the model that I've already downloaded from Hugging Face. Okay, all right. So we this we do import Streamlit as st, import temp files. Of course, we're going to be creating temporary files to store from the PDF to store them in a temp file. We're going to be needing a recursive character splitter to split the text from the PDFs. We're going to need a PyPDF to load our PDF document. We're going to be needing the document to convert our PDF files, create a document file, and we are going to be needing the DOL summary chain to summarize our document to retrieve our QA, to create a chain for our Q&A, the Hugging Face embeddings to create embeddings. So we're going to be using the sentence transformers from Hugging Face and Chroma to store, create our vector store, the llama CPP to load the models and to run them on the CPU locally. So we're going to be needing the prompt template to pass and prompt, the import OS to create some directories or path, and import pandas as PD, right, to create our pandas data frames. All right, so the next thing we have to do is, so let's create a prompt and let's going to say that create a prompt and let me walk you through that. Okay, so we first create a prompt. We say prompt template, and we passed in a prompt. So this is going to be passed to the LLM. So that's going to be an instruction for you to give us what we want. So we are saying you are an expert in creating practice questions based on study material. Your goal is to prepare students for their exam. You do this by asking questions and we pass in the text. And we say that create questions that will prepare the student for their exam and make sure not to lose any information. All right. And yeah, so the next thing is we create an variable, we call it prompt questions. And now we pass in our prompt template that we already have here. So we paste the prompt template and we are saying template is equal to prompt template questions. Okay, and the input variable is going to be the text. So that's going to be the input variable. So let's create the next one. And all right, so let's pass the. So now we are going to refine the prompt template. Okay, just to make sure we get a more accurate result. So we are saying that we do a refined prompt template. Okay, so we create another variable, we call it refined prompt template, refined template questions, and we are saying you are an expert in creating practice questions based on the study material. Your goal is to help a student prepare for an exam. So we have received some practice questions to a certain extent. All right, so we are been creating another existing answers. So the existing answers is just going to improve on that. So we have the option to refine the existing question or add new ones, and we also pass this test. So this is doing nothing, just refining the answers in the question that we've already passed in that. So given the new context, we find the original question in English. If the context is not helpful, please provide a original question. Okay, so we're just refining what we have already fed in there to get a more great response. So the next thing we have to do is, so let's initialize our app. Okay, so I'm going to be pasting this here. Okay, so I'm going to be explaining that to you. So let's create our initialize that. Okay, so now we initialize the Streamlit tab. We create a title, question and answer page generator with Zephyr-7B, and we put in a markdown style, with just some decorations. Okay, and we say we create a file upload widgets, and we name it a variable upload file. On the sidebar, we should say upload a PDF file, and we call that a PDF. And now let's set up a file path. So the initial file path is none. So we check if the file is uploaded. If uploaded file, we are going to create a temporal path and we are going to name it as temp file. And we are going to write the PDF, read the PDF and write it in a temp file and create a temp file name and we call it the file path. So we check that if the file path is set, if there is a file path, we are going to load a PDF from the file path and we put it and we create a variable, we call it loader, call it data, and we load it into the variable data. So now we combine the text document into one string for questioning generation. So we say that text, we're going to iterate through the data that we have already loaded and we append the pages, the content of the pages into the text question generator. And now we initialize the text splitter for question generation, and we create a variable called text splitter question generation, and we create a recursive character text splitter, and we are saying chunk size 10,000, the overlap is 50. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we split the text into chunks for question answers. So we call it text chunk question answers, and we use the split text, and we pass in the text question generation. Okay, so what we want to do is convert the text into a document to prepare that for question and answer generation. All right, so we call it docs question gen as the variable, and we are turning these pages into a document for the text generation. And the next thing is we create a LLM model, and we are saying that we are using the Llama CPP. We are passing the parameters streaming model path, which is equal to this model that we have downloaded. And we are saying temperature is equal to 0.75. Okay, so anytime you run it, it's going to give a different output. So it controls the randomness of the output. And we are going to say the top piece to be 1, the variable is equal to true, we want to keep track of what is going on. And we are given a context size of the prompt token max size of 4096. All right, so the next thing we want to do now is, so let's initialize the question. So now we want to initialize the question generation chain. All right, so now we initialize the chain for the question answers, and we want to say that we call it question generation chain, and we pass in the LLM question chain, passing the chain type to be refined, the variable is equal to true, and we are passing the prompt for the prompt question, and we are passing so we have the question prompt and we have the refined prompt. Okay, yeah. All right, so now we run the question generation chain, and we are saying that questions, we call it questions, and we are passing our chain and we are passing the talk question chain. Okay, so it's going to generate the questions and answer using this chain. And now, so this one is for the questions, and now so let's create one for the answer generation. All right, so we still pass our LLM, the Llama CPP, and we pass this parameter same as the previous one. All right, so now let's create one for the create a vector database for the answer generation. Okay. All right, so we say create vector database for answer generation, and we are passing a variable, creating a variable called embeddings, and within that we are passing a Hugging Face embeddings, and we are passing our model to be equal to the sentence transformers. Okay, and we are passing the model quad to the CPU. We are doing everything on CPU. All right, okay. So the next thing is we initialize vector store for answer generation, and we are using the Chroma to create a vector store, and we are passing the question answer generation and embeddings. And we now initialize the retrieval chain for answer generation. So we are saying answer gen chain, and we are passing the retrieval keyway. So within that, we are passing the LLM for the answer generation, chain type, and we are passing the vector store. So we want to get the top 2 answers. Okay, so k is equal to 2. It's going to give us the top 2 answers. Okay, so now we want to split the generated. Okay, let me create this one. Okay, create this one. If path. Okay, so now let's. Okay, so we split the generated question into a list of questions, and now the list, we create a variable called the question list. So we are splitting the questions, we are splitting it to the next line. So now we want to answer each question and save to a file. Okay, so we create a list called the question answer pairs, and we are going to iterate through the question question list. Okay, right, we have here. And now we are saying that for we are writing each so question and answer. We are using the answer chain. We pass in the question, and the question and answer are appended to the question and answer pair, the list that we have here. Okay, all right. So and now we are just using this line to separate them. All right. So let's create a directory for storing the answers. Okay, let's create a directory for storing the answers. Let me paste that here. Okay, so let's create a directory for storing the answers. All right, so we are saying that create a directory for storing answers. We are creating a variable called the answers directory, and we are using the OS to create, okay, join the temp file, and we are going to give it the answers. Okay, and we are also going to also make a new directory, and we are passing our answers directory. Okay, so it means that it's going to give us a directory, and when we go into that directory, we are going to get our files in there. Okay, and now we are going to say create a temp data frame from the list of question answer pairs. So we are going to pass the create data frame, question and answers. All right, just like what we have here. Okay, we are going to create a data frame for question and answers, and we're going to have the questions with numbers and answers. Okay, so this is exactly what is going on here. And now we are going to save the data frame to a CSV. And okay, so we are going to name it question and answer.csv. Okay, when we pass the answers directory to the OS path. And now we are going to create a CSV file path, and we are going to convert the QA into a CSV. And we are going to create a download button for the question and answers in the Streamlit application. Okay, and we are going to create a markdown, download question and answers. Okay, and we create a button for you to download, and we clean up the temporary files. If file path, we are going to clear the, remove the file path. And yeah, that's it. So let me run it and let's see. All right, so yeah, we have some questions and answers from the PDF that we uploaded. All right, so it's giving us. All right, so according to the text, which retail executive recently left their roles and who took over for them? The article provides a scorecard of X executive moves in the retail industry for Apple. Some notable changes include Andrew Carey stepping down. Yeah, I think I like these answers. Yeah, so if you want to download, go to download questions. All right, so it's going to give you just a link. You're going to copy the link, right, and you paste it into your directories and click on this, say enter, right, and there you have it. Right, so what lesson did Dodge Macmillan CEO reflects in CEO format reflect on in the recent years? He's saying, according to the text material, Dr. Macmillan, CEO of Walmart, reflected on the lesson learned. All right. Yeah, second one, according to Macmillan, how does Walmart approach long-term success? According to Macmillan, Walmart is focused on long-term success by making the most important strategy. And all right, okay, I think I had answer for this one. Oh yeah, sure. Okay, so Macmillan advised the company to have what advice did Macmillan give regarding getting comfortable with risks, pursuing growth, and all right, I think I like this one. All right, so you can use this for your several use cases that you have. All right, yeah, so that's the end of the video. I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and share, like, comment, and see you in the next one.